Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Neeru Tandon from Department of English, VSSG College, Kanpur. We are discussing paper on English language teaching. In this paper, this module on Syllabus Design Part 1, which has been written by Sudhir Singh, we are going to discuss some very important points regarding what is the syllabus, what are the various characteristics of good syllabus, preparation and planning, theoretical options, designing a language syllabus in particular, communicative needs processor, and certain e-texts related with this syllabus core. Now, syllabus design is an important phenomena in teaching learning a language. It is apropos to decide what should be taught to the learners and which methodology works effectively. English language teaching is the most prominent teaching area in which teachers and students from all over the world they participate enthusiastically. The choice of the syllabus to be taught to the language learners is an important activity that needs a great deal of reflection and analysis. Different theories and approaches produce different syllabi. Now, purpose of ELT, as we all know, is to produce efficient and effective language users. Since the learners' needs vary in different contexts, so no uniform approach can work as far as syllabus is concerned. Designing a language syllabus, though apparently seems a very simple phenomena, but in fact, when you come and sit and do it, then you feel, no, it's a complex one. You're supposed to take care of many things. Broadly speaking, a language syllabus must work with an objective of producing such skills in a student which make him or her such productive and efficient language user who can produce own meaningful and convincing language with verbal and non-verbal communication skills. No language syllabus can be multi-purpose as the needs vary from learner to learner. Before designing a syllabus, the syllabus designer must keep it in mind whether the syllabus is for general purpose, for some technical purpose, some social or some professional purpose. A general course will yield general and ineffective users in a special context. The linguistic need of a law student differs from the student of a creative writings. With a very small shared space, their requirements gradually divert in terms of vocabulary and expression. Looking at this diversity of industrial requirement, there is a need to frame a specific syllabus for specific purposes with an aim to overcome the linguistic difficulties which are involved in studying English. Yet, the aim remains the same: to train an efficient language user. To understand it in a better way, let us see how the syllabus design has been defined. Syllabus is a summary of a discourse or course of study. Just looking at the syllabus, we can just guess what we are going to do in this particular course. Most of the students, before deciding their course, they go through the syllabus. What is the syllabus of this particular course? If it is of my interest and my capability, then only I will take up this course. So, syllabus is something of the utmost importance from the very beginning. It is a statement of what is to be learnt of language and linguistic performance, as said by Hutchinson and Waters. It is the summary of the content to which learners will be exposed, in the words of Yalden. And Nilsson said, It is not only the roadmap for the term's foray into knowledge, but also a travelogue to pick students' interest in the expedition and its leader." Unquote. So syllabus, it attracts the student towards a particular course, and it also takes them along. And also the ultimate aim it reaches with the help of the syllabus, that syllabus should be completed within the given time. What are the characteristics of a good syllabus? It should set the tone for the course. It should be clear, coherent, and comprehensive. Articulation of the rationale, objectives, and learning outcomes are expected. Related course objectives, course content, and sequencing of material. Then communication of what, when, and how of learning. Defining student responsibilities for success is also a part of a good syllabus. Identifying the effective assessment model is also mentioned in the syllabus, relative to the available resources, and it enhances student learning. Now, preparation and planning for syllabus. Certain good people from the university or college are there who get the responsibility to just design the syllabus. They understand their responsibility, that it's not only a job, rather it is going to set the future of many students. So, as per Davis, the act of preparing a syllabus helps you decide what topics will be covered and at what pace. Further, by distributing a written explanation of course procedures, you can minimize misunderstandings about the due dates of assignments, grading criteria, and policies on missed tests. Finally, a well-prepared course syllabus shows students that you take your teaching seriously. Theoretical options. Product-oriented approach. Now, there comes a structural syllabus. First the main point, and then I'll define. Content of the syllabus depends on the complexity level of the grammatical items. Then concept like functional ability arises from the structural ability. As Noam Chomsky introduced concept of linguistic competence, finite language rules produce the infinite utterances or sentences. Limitations talks of only one aspect of language. So let us discuss what is the structural syllabus. Traditionally, a structural approach has been the most prevalent approach, where the content of the syllabus, it depends on the complexity level of the grammatical items. In this grammatical syllabus approach, the learners are exposed to various grammatical structures step by step, and they are supposed to master them by internalizing the rules. It is considered that the grammatical concepts like nouns, plurals, etc. can be better defined than the functional ones, like grammar becomes the most familiar learning content. The teacher chooses structures appropriate to the level of the learners and plans exercises to test the learner's knowledge. Semantically defined sentence types such as statements, questions, interrogatives, and grammatically defined types such as simple, compound, and complex sentences are seen to be the focus. The entire focus, in fact, is on learning outcome. This approach is based on a theory of language learning, that the functional ability arises from the structural ability. That is, the grammar of structural aspects of language are the most significant parts in language learning. Noam Chomsky also gave prominence to grammar in language learning. While elaborating the concept of generative grammar, he introduced the concept of linguistic competence, which focuses on a set of finite language rules to produce the infinite utterances or sentences. Now, another kind you can say is situational syllabus, meaning depends not only on structural and linguistic knowledge but also on the context of the utterance. Content is based on everyday situations. For example, at a cinema, buying a dress, attending a phone call, attending patient, talking to a doctor, in the law court, depends. So motivational level of the learners is also enhanced because those things are of utmost importance. Wilkins said that learner rather than subject centered, this kind of syllabus is known as situational syllabus. And the limitations of this kind of syllabus is that notions and functions are limited to few situations only. If a learner learns only this kind of syllabus, then if he is put in another situation, maybe he is not ready for that particular thing. Now, notional-functional syllabus, that is the product-oriented approach. It is an inclusive notion based on the communicative competence theory. Notion, a specific context of communication. Function, a specific purpose in that context. An emphasis is primarily on the semantic and communicative aspects along with grammatical and situational factors. In this, need analysis is a prerequisite. When we talk about notional-functional syllabus, it is a more inclusive notion based on the communicative competence theory as proposed by Delheims, who felt that the linguistic form should be studied along with the ways in which these are used. Notion is a specific context in which we communicate and function in a specific purpose in that particular context. For example, shopping. Shopping can be a notion, and various language requirements like asking the price, discussing product, bargaining, just paying the money, these are the functions of the language. Communicative competence includes 4 areas: linguistic, socio-linguistic, discourse, and strategic. In this approach, the emphasis is on semantic and communicative approach and aspect without losing sight of grammatical and situational factors. The syllabus designer makes a list of communicative functions like agreement of verb with the subjects, greetings, etc., for which the learners will be using the language or languages. He makes a list of notions based on their culture and context, like what are the values. Then the functions and notions are used together to perform the learning tasks. When we talk about procedural or task-based syllabus, popularly known as TBLT, that is teaching of procedural or task-based syllabus, which falls within the communicative approach, it has become a widely used term in second or foreign language pedagogy. Here, the language learning which takes place as a process of doing a set of communicative tasks in the classroom results in language activation, outside the classroom especially. Emphasis is laid both on the language and language learning process through interaction in the target language by using authentic material. The real impetus for the TBLT came from the Bangalore project, in which Prabhu and his colleagues designed a procedural syllabus as a reaction against a structural oral situational approach, that is SOS approach, followed in their country in 1960s and 70s. Here, language acquisition occurs when learners focus their attention on meaning rather than on language forms. When learners are encouraged in doing meaning-focused activities, they are benefited in natural communication in the classroom. The learning takes place when the target language is taught through communication and not simply for communication. That is the basic difference between the two. It is for communication or it is through the communication. So through the communication is always better and advantaged. Now, task syllabus is opposed to synthetic syllabus. It is advocated by Long and Crookes and said that pedagogic task is the departure point because focus is on the meaning. The tasks are identified through a needs analysis process. You can see in this figure that procedural syllabus versus task syllabus, there is a comparison. Who advocated procedural syllabus? Prabhu. And the task one advocated by Long and Crookes. Then the task selection in procedural is based on feedback obtained from students' performance every session, and the other one is based on needs analysis. Task gradation in procedural is done on more or less subjective way, and in task based is objective. Implementation, they are almost the same like pre-task, task and post-task, while in task it is pre-task, task and quick marking. No focus on form in procedural, while the main focus is on form in the task syllabus. There is one more type, that is a skill-based syllabus. Specific skills are taught to enhance the confidence of the learners. Linguistic competence like pronunciation, grammar, etc. are grouped together. Learners are required to do general activities like listening, writing, etc. based on those components. Students, they can develop their communicative competence like listening, speaking, writing and reading by using various resources. When you say content-based syllabus, then language learning occurs only with content learning. Otherwise, in personal, thrust is not on teaching language. Thrust is here on teaching content. Focus is on specific content or information rather than the language. Language comes as a byproduct. For example, a piece of information from rural farming is taken, and in addition to the accumulation of information, language drill can also be carried on regarding vocabulary, tenses used, and sentence structures. There is one learner-led syllabus. It was proposed by Breen and Candlin. Here, focus is on involvement of the learner. That learner is also the part of the syllabus creator as well. How? That interest and motivation increases due to the involvement of the learner, and critics label it as radical and utopian because learner himself decides what he is going to learn in that particular course. Proportional syllabus. It is proposed by Yeldon, which focuses on overall competence. Number of elements within the main theme play a linking role through the units, and shift from form to interaction is not limited. It is a dynamic syllabus with a focus on flexibility and feedback. Now, in this figure, you can see various types of syllabus. We already discussed grammar and structural syllabus, then situational and thematic syllabus, functional and notional syllabus, task-based syllabus, content-based syllabus, and skill-based syllabus. So all these types of syllabus has certain points. Like when we say grammar and structural syllabus, which is based on the structure of language. So there, simple present tense and present continuous, you can just have that this is grammar, that whether it is going to discuss which tense. Situational and thematic syllabus, it is organized around themes. And what kind of themes? For example, the weather, the family, food, beverages, or at the bank, at the restaurant. So whenever you are in such situations, what are the general sentences that you are supposed to talk, you are supposed to deal with? Like whether you must know how to ask for weather, or you should know particular vocabulary about weather. If you ask, how is the weather outside? And somebody said, it's raining cats and dogs. and you don't understand the meaning of this phrase that describes that it's raining heavily, then you are at loss to understand. So, depending upon various situations in situational and thematic syllabus, it is taught. Functional and notional syllabus, which is based on communicative purposes and conceptual meaning, agreeing, time, approving direction is there to be noticed. In task-based syllabus, which is based on task learning, we find for example, like describe childhood memories. That is the task given. And then suppose it is given your own views regarding marriage, or any task can be given where material is not the problem. That is already there. Only manner is there to be taken care of. Then content-based syllabus, which the aim of that syllabus is to use English for studying other subjects. Not only English, literature or English for that purpose as a subject. Maybe social sciences also, maybe science, maybe medical, maybe law. So all these subjects, but the medium will be English. So English is not the matter but the manner. And like even drawing geometrical figures, circle, triangle, square, what is it? So how to read that, how to talk about it. Then skill-based syllabus, which is based on the development of language skills like LSRW. So listening to foreign radio, how will you tune your ears to understand that particular language or the accent or the pronunciation part? That is all the more important in this particular skill-based syllabus. Designing a language syllabus is also a process, a thoughtful process. While designing a syllabus for the course, the teacher must consider all the points discussed above as criteria of a good syllabus. Although many types of language teaching syllabi can be developed based on various approaches, but none of them occur independently. Almost each language teaching syllabus draws from the valuable insights of two or more approaches defined. In a course, one type of syllabus usually dominates, while other type of content may be combined with the previous one. A language teaching syllabus involves the integration of subject matter and linguistic matter. The proportion should be decided by the language designer, how much importance should be given to content and how much importance should be given to the linguistic matter. Evaluation and grading procedures, including the weights assigned to various components, must also be made clear in a language syllabus, because it depends upon the marks that what is the weightage is being, how much weightage is being given. The length of the answer will be decided accordingly. If a question of 20 marks is there and if a question of 10 marks is there, the writer of that answer will decide accordingly. Need analysis assumes the prime significance in the process of planning an English language syllabus. A consideration of the target students' requirements, taking stock of their linguistic strengths and weaknesses, and an investigation of how the syllabus shall address their needs to produce sufficiently good language become a prerequisite. In his book, Communicative Syllabus Design in 1978, MUNBY'S introduced Communication Needs Processor, which became a launching pad for many related terms like target situation analysis, pedagogic needs analysis, strategy analysis, or learning needs analysis. It also has discourse analysis, deficiency analysis, means analysis, present situation analysis, register analysis, and genre analysis. A good language syllabus establishes a connection between the students and the teacher and sets the tone for the course. On the very first day of the class, the students are excited to know about the topics to be covered in their syllabus, assignments, grading system, text, etc. Many education theorists agree that a detailed syllabus is very, very important, and in fact it is a learning tool for the students which lessens their initial anxieties about the course. Students' queries and questions should be anticipated and addressed while planning a language syllabus. David advises to keep the syllabus flexible so that the classes that get sidetracked can also cover up. A language syllabus should also clearly define the prerequisites of that particular course. Logical arrangement of the content is another precaution that a language syllabus designer must observe. It can be arranged either chronologically or according to topics or themes, from theoretical perspectives to the application of the concepts, etc. It should move gradually in terms of complexity. First, less complex topics, and then the level of complexity can raise. If the content has no backward-forward linkage or continuity, it may lead to the confusion in teaching learning of that particular language. The logic behind this arrangement must be clear to the students. It should also delineate not only the task of the teacher but also what the students are going to do during the course. Another aspect of designing a language course syllabus is selection of a textbook and resource material. Yes, of course, that is a very, very important point. That if I want that a student should study some portion to complete this course, syllabus designer must let them know what are the good books that they must study and consult. Textbooks are the staple in a curriculum. As the ESL teachers, they spend a great deal of time with textbooks, so the text decides to be prescribed in this course should be the most accurate and the authentic one. Our sensitive visuals and graphics should incorporate higher level thinking skills, cater to the literacy need of the learners, and its material must address the diversity of the language styles or the learning styles. If the number of texts is more, working on an anthology or a compiled text can be a good way out. Students might find it difficult to find and purchase more number of books, so expensive and heavy text should be avoided if possible. So once again, that anticipating and addressing students' queries must before designing a language syllabus, appropriate organization of the content for backward-forward linkage or continuity, then textbooks are the staple in a curriculum, accurate and authentic textbooks should be prescribed, and finally, evaluation and grading procedures must also be made clear. Now you can see in this particular chart that MUNBY'S communicative needs processor, what are the parameters for that. From purpose till target level, he has discussed setting, interlocutors and their relationship, and then dialect is also there, communicative key has been included, and events as well. So, to sum up, again, I will just put emphasis on the importance of syllabus designing. That whenever a person designs the syllabus, so designer is very, very important. In fact, more important than the teacher himself who will teach the syllabus. Because if the syllabus is too long, then the teacher will not be able to do justice with the syllabus or with the course. If it is too short, then again it is not justified, because in that case the student will be the sufferer and he will not be able to take real benefit from the course. So syllabus should be proper, it should be justified, and it should be interesting also, so that students should not lose their interest in the particular syllabus, and teacher should be in the position to complete it within the given time. Thank you for visiting EPG Pathshala.